Oops, here we go.
There we go. Just started.
Do you hear anything?
Not yet. Oh, because it's muted. That's the problem. Although, yeah, I hear me a while ago.
Okay.
The sidebar is all the players from season 3.
Yeah, we can't fix that right now, so oh well.
Cool.
Can you hear the rest of us on the...
I can hear you and me, but nobody else has said anything.
Somebody say something?
I'm trying to say something right now. This is me saying something. Jared, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Good, good, good. That's Jared
There's
saying
a
all
little
right.
bit of a lag.
All right.
Okay, I hear Josh.
Great. Okay, then we're here.
Hello.
Hi, Twitchies.
I hear Jared.
Let's get started.
It's the link to the lag.
Jacob, are you there? I see you reacted.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's do it.
Hi.
So I'm going to bring us in. We'll do a quick introduction. I'm going to explain that we are doing something different than usual, and we'll do a brief intro to our characters as usual, but then we're going to have a little bit of a different time. Okay, here we go. This is The Dying of the Light, Season 3 of the Starfall Collective. The Starfall Collective is a collaborative storytelling group using the Dungeons & Dragons game system as a vehicle for creating rich and compelling stories in a fictional world that we've been developing together for a while. You can find out more about the collective, as well as the stories we're telling, at thestarfallcollective.com. We're back with a new episode. This time, a different kind of episode. We're taking a break from our main story and going into what's commonly called a one-shot. In this case, it's actually going to be more like a four-shot, but they're going to be discontinuous. These are a series of interludes that we will be observing. We'll be playing, you'll be observing, that take place after Season 2. And so, unlike our current season, Season 3, which takes place in this great forest, we'll be starting tonight's episode in the Cloudy Sea, which was the setting for Season 2. Before that, let's introduce everyone who's here, find out who's in this episode. I am Sir Robert Burbridge, a father and entrepreneur, and possibly more. I'm the host of this season's story and the host of these interludes. With me tonight are a few friends playing the characters in this drama. You will notice the conspicuous absence of Aaron Joy and Matt, who are out and about, gallivanting around the world. Those of us who are homebodies, however, have opted to stay here and travel to a more faraway land. We'll start with, let's say, Josh.
Hello, hello. I'm Josh, and tonight I shall be raising the character of Malmer Mayala from the depths of Character Archive. And will once again be wielding horrifying eldritch powers and with deadly precision, combining my spellcraft with my bladecraft, for he is a warlock of the Pact Blade. So, who has been redeemed by Oberon. So he is something of a special character. He's a bit of a unicorn. He's the only Oberonian warlock. And he is best friends with, and at this point, kind of the right-hand man of Yellow Eyes, Watherin, from the previous season. So I'm excited to see what he's been up to since he royally crossed the Elven Empire and forswore himself to the service of Oberon under Yellow Eyes.
So and you'll remember perhaps that Watherin, who became Yellow Eyes, was my character in Season 2. I will be, since it was my turn to master the game, be the game master, I'm going to be running this episode. So go ahead.
Who mastered who? Who mastered
That's
who?
right.
Am I right?
That's right.
Am I right?
But I will be playing this Watherin in this episode, Yellow Eyes in this episode. However, I will not be participating as Yellow Eyes in this episode for reasons we will find out in the course of the story. Instead, it will be centering around Malmer, and I'll just be there to help get things started. Watherin will just be there to help get things started. It'll be centering around Malmer and 3 new people. Jared, do you want to introduce your character?
Yeah, tonight I'm playing Edirano, who is a wood elf ranger with something of a temper.
Mal can work with that.
Yeah. And Dwight, why don't we go with you next?
I'm Darrow, a druid fighter who has a shady criminal background.
Nice.
Good. And finally, Jacob. Jacob?
Are you muted, my man?
Mm-mm. Maybe just can't.
You're audible according to the software. You might be hardware muted. Jacob, are you under a tremendously heavy object, and do you need us to come get it off of you and save you? Blink once for... No. Fire off a flare if you... No. Set off an EMP.
Oh, here he comes.
Jacob, I've typed all of your symptoms into the browser, and it says that you have
Web cancer.
network connectivity issues on WebMD.
Jacob, are you there? Well, we will continue without Jacob for now. Jacob is a couple of rooms over from me, so I will go check him. He's my son, for those of you listening. I will go... Sorry, that was my kid's school. One of the kids' schools. So let's go ahead and jump into the episode. Let me start with... Actually, you know what? Let me pause for a second so I can just go see if I can help Jacob here, because I just realized there's not going to be a point where you guys go on without me. So give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Who?
Hey, have
Master
you ever
who?
DM'd
Am I right?
before?
Am I right?
No, I'm new to this. Hold on, Jacob's connecting.
Splint joined you in D&D.
I see the...
Worst case scenario, I can have
Connecting.
Jacob sit next to me in here, and we can do it
Yeah.
together.
Oh,
Good.
man.
Yeah, let me go
Worst
help
case
him.
indeed. What if Jacob gets confused again like last time and he tries to cast a spell on you IRL?
I can imagine, like, so many worst cases. Has anyone ever actually said the worst case after saying worst case scenario? I'll just leave it to your imagination what the worst cases could be. Look at that.
If I were truly committed, I would have a hood like this, and I would be this good at hand wavy warlock spells.
Warlock.
So, yeah, man, I'm a warlock fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Super high level too. So Darrow, I'm gonna
Super high
grab a
level
pen.
2.
You do what?
Man, I've been higher than level 2 for years.
I don't know if I can feed the 2 headphones.
Okay. You're going to probably need one of those orange chairs. All right, Jacob's going to play down here. And
Feed him from the... Yeah, there we go. Maybe. There we go.
I will fix our screen. So for those of you paying attention on Twitch, my condolences. Why don't you sit on the other side? You can use this laptop.
So Robert will mail you your personal condolence wreath.
That's correct.
You
Refunds for
mail
everyone.
him a self-addressed stamped envelope filled with cash.
With a mere $5.99 for return shipping.
Why don't you move that box? Yeah, just push out of your way. And we'll tilt
Your
this for
shirt
you.
is very psychedelic, Josh.
I got
and
it. It's
mirrored and
this is the same. So okay. So rather than clean this experience up for the rest of you and just kind of shift to a different screen, I went ahead and made you endure all of the shuffling. I figured put hair in your
Suffering
chest.
builds character.
Yeah,
and
something like
character
that.
hope and hope perseverance.
All right. So I've got Jacob here with me.
I just can't hear anymore.
It's good. It's good. It's working right now.
I just can't hear anymore. So it only attaches to one headphones.
Okay. Let's get Jacob's screen up. Sorry for the crazy everybody. Jacob, I'm going to duplicate this.
Fish
Dwight, your character
Fish eye.
Darrow is a wood elf druid fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right, let's get into it.
Be
So,
ready for some damage.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
So unlike our season so far, we are playing tonight with characters that are higher level. Malmer is Warlock, as you have heard. He is level 14, which is an extraordinarily high level. Darrow and Ederano are each collectively level 12. They're both multi-class, but they're level 12. And these are high level. It'll be fun. Okay. So, let's look at my... There we go. And... There we go. Okay. Do a little bit of narrative. So, here's what's happening. In season 2, we had a set of intrepid adventurers who went out and met each other on board a sailing ship, a kind of almost like a whaling ship, but where they hunt kraken, these squid-like creatures who float and swim in the Cloudy Sea. The Cloudy Sea is a misty region that is not water-filled. It is mist-filled and is actually resting on the tops of a kind of forest. And it is hanging off, as it were, the edge of the world. There is no rock underneath. So if one were to plunge too far down into the Cloudy Sea, one would continue to plunge forever into the dark night.
As far as we know.
What's that?
As far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah. They wouldn't necessarily. Maybe that's how new stars are born for other planets. So, in the course of the season, Malmer, who previously served the Chaos God Chernabog, went through a set of...
And vengeance. Chaos and vengeance.
Chaos and vengeance, that's right. For the god Chernabog. Malmer got to know several of his fellow elves on that journey and found a way of getting back in touch with his elvish roots and their principal deity, Oberon, also Pan, one of their significant but lesser deities, and who are all, generally speaking, good, on the good alignment side in the D&D sense. Well, Malmer's story arc took him through a sort of set of crushing defeats as well as eventual redemption, especially related to my character Watherin, who was an avatar. Sorry, not an avatar. Was an paladin.
Paladin.
Yeah, was a paladin, a cleric warrior sort of soldier of a particular sect of the elvish religion that had fallen out of favor for a long time. Used to be the dominant sect, but fallen out of favor for a long time. And Watherin was searching for a long dead hero, someone who died 2,000-ish years ago. His name was Firin the Seer. In the course of time, he found Firin. Firin was living at the behest of Oberon on the island of the Aarakocra, the capital island of the Aarakocra, living as an Aarakocra with a ring Oberon had given him that gave him various powers, not least of which was the ability to be an Aarakocra, to have an Aarakocra form, and he was instructed by the god Oberon to live there as the high priest to Oberon, and in fact the sort of pontiff, the maximal pontiff of that island for all of the Aarakocra. And he had been living there with an unnatural long life of around 2,000 years. In the course of the season, it turned out that Waithorin, when he found Firin, was made to discover that Oberon wanted him to take over as the high priest, not as a high priest, but as the same high priest, Yellow Eyes. So Waithorin takes the ring. Firin is brought by Oberon to his next adventure, whether that be on the other side of mortality or on this side. Waithorin did not know. Waithorin takes the ring, becomes Yellow Eyes, and continues in the service to the Aarakocra people, the bird people, as their Pontifex Maximus, Yellow Eyes. It has now been about 400 years later. For elves, this is not a long time, but it's a goodly while. Elves live 900 years-ish, maybe some might stretch to 1,000. So Waithorin and Malmer were in their equivalent of mid-20s. They were in their 200s during the last adventure. It's been 400 years, and the two have bonded closely. Malmer is the only one who knows that Yellow Eyes is not truly originally an Aarakocra. He is in fact an elf doing the good bidding of the benevolent god Oberon to help the Aarakocra people. And because of his what was perceived as great treachery to the elven kingdom, Malmer is distrusted, and there is a price on his head everywhere, though maybe in some circles he's been forgotten since time has passed. He is Yellow Eyes' most trusted confidant. The two of them know each other's secret, as it were, and have been tending to the needs of the Aarakocra in these secrets for many centuries now. So we pick up. Yellow Eyes has sent Malmer on a special quest. I'm going to a little more backstory, and I know for those of you who already know this backstory, you're going to be on the edge of your seat with nostalgia. And for those of you who don't yet know it, you're on the edge of your seat with anticipation. But in Season 2, 400 years ago, the adventurers went to a place called Nebulaster's Perch. It is a rock outcropping almost to the farthest extremes of the cloudy sea, where Nebulaster, a cloud giant, observes the stars in the sky. And he does it from this far, far place so that he can take advantage of the parallax of the landscape and the stars that are moving to try to make observations about these stars. And one of the things he has in his possession is an unusual telescope with a lens affixed to the front. And this lens does not merely bend light. It actually has an ability, a strange ability that maybe Nebulaster himself did not understand, to interpret magic in the lens. How that interpretation went is not a subject for here now. However, our intrepid adventurers found that a star was falling soon. And when a star falls in the world, something new happens. Something that has not been in the world before is in the world. When the dragon star fell, dragons came into the world. When the elf star fell, elves came into the world. And presumably when the oak star fell, oak trees first came into the world. Who knows? There has been a star for the dwarves, the elves, the dragons, the dwarves, the elves, the dragons, and many other creatures. There have been stars that fell for all kinds of things, perhaps in days immemorial, even for things as primordial as fire. Nebulaster confided in our party last season that there was a star falling whose magic he could not interpret. The star was visible faintly through other telescopes, but when looked at through the magic telescope, it did not appear. It seemed to be gone. Though, in special cases, in some cases, you could tell that other stars behind it were obscured, which meant that the star was not actually gone, but it was simply invisible, blocking any kind of interpretation through this magic lens. Well, Nebulaster said that in his best guess, that star would fall in about 100 years. It has been a goodly time since then, 400 years later to our season tonight. And after the events of last season, when Malmer treacherously betrayed the financial interests of the Elven Empire in order to save the world, he gave a bunch of a king's ransom of levy to the Black Dragons who helped them fight off an existential threat. Well, 100 or so years passed, and to everyone's surprise, the Black Dragons rose up and conquered Nebulaster's Perch. As a matter of fact, they displaced the giants or slaughtered them wholesale, and the northwest region, the northern and northwest region of the Cloudy Sea has become known as a haunt for these vile creatures, these black dragons, these dwellers in sewage and rot. They own the lion's share, as it were, the dragon's share of the northern sea, and it is all their domain. Recently, Yellow Eyes, for reasons of his own that Malmer is not fully aware of, sent Malmer on a most dangerous mission to go into the heart of the Black Dragon land and to find and extract for him Nebulaster's lens. He says that to bring back that lens is to be helpful to the Elven Empire and perhaps to everyone, because another existential threat, he thinks, has come, but he cannot be sure without Nebulaster's lens. Malmer, as we pick up this episode, returns from his journey. He has come back, and he's been back for a few hours now, maybe 8 or 10 hours. He came back wounded and grieved, but successful in his mission. Yellow Eyes immediately took him to his private chambers, tended to his wounds, and let him have a nice long rest, so that Malmer is in good shape this day. He's been healed. He's ready. And unfortunately, Yellow Eyes reveals to him he does not have time to take a break because something's afoot. So we'll pick up with Malmer and Yellow Eyes in Yellow Eyes' chamber. Yellow Eyes about to give Malmer a new mission, back to back with his old, but we'll see why, with what urgency it must come. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Josh, are you ready?
Ready.
Sorry, let me get my Eric Okra voice.
It just occurred to me, Malmer is now older. He is by a greater margin older than his original age. His age is more than doubled.
That's right.
So he's going to sound a little different too, I guess.
Almost 3 times.
Yeah.
All right. So Yellow Eyes is in his chambers with Yellow Eyes actually is in his chambers with Malmer, but they're there alone, and so Yellow Eyes has taken his other form that only Malmer knows as Watherin. Malmer, wake up.
You see him kind of jerk and a man whose body is covered in scars and tattoos, kind of reflexively like a cuttlefish. You see the appearance of his skin kind of ripple with a different look, and suddenly it looks perfectly smooth. And then you see the tattoos coming back. You see like a beard kind of flicker on his face for a moment, and he kind of shakes himself and comes to, and you see just all the scars and everything come back, and he is himself. And he says, "Hey, thanks. I needed that."
How did you
breakfast?
fare? Sure.
I'm fine. I feel good. Yeah.
Watherin goes over to his desk where there is prepared breakfast that's brought to him every day by the attendants in the temple, and he had a double portion brought to him and brings one to Watherin, to Malmer.
Mal's probably wearing sailor's pants, like kind of baggy sailor's garments, and that, probably just the pants. And so he wanders over and starts eating and says, "So, what are we going to do with this telescope?"
Well,
or the lens, I guess.
That's a good question. I had been hoping that we would have time to, I don't know, to make something useful out of it, but time, it turns out, is short. I've been consulting with Oberon in prayer. He's shown me a few things. It's, as often happens with him, it's sometimes hard to understand, but there is a darkness in a faraway land. It's not close to here, but it is close to the homeland, to the Elven Empire.
Not the darkness of the dragons.
No, it's a different darkness. This is not the same kind. Those black dragons, their darkness is natural in a way. It is what they are. Do you know, have you ever been to the southern wood of the Elven Empire?
Well, yeah, a lifetime ago when I was a young man.
Do you know the Great Cliffs of the south?
Yes, yeah, the stories, they travel, yeah.
In the Great Cliffs to the south, where the trees of our empire come to the edge, you may know there is a precipitous drop thousands of feet below the cliffs.
I once drank at a tavern with a man who claimed to have scaled them, and I think everybody in the place turned on him and ran him out before the end of the night.
I bet. Those cliffs, there is a desert that lies beyond. Of course, we elves don't go there. It's unbearably hot. But it is where the Arrow live, that portion of the Arrowan where the Orc Star fell and the humans, before some of them found their way into our domain. That land does not have water and shadows. It doesn't have green and life like our forest does. It doesn't have the same kinds of hills and mountains. It's barren and yellow and bright, like the sun all the time. The sand there shines. But there is a darkness growing in the south of the south. I don't know what it is, and I don't think anyone knows what it is. But it's growing quickly and is imminently encroaching on the elven lands.
You see Mal was chewing pretty briskly, and his chewing slows to almost a stop, and he says, Did Oberon show you all this after I returned with the lens, or
No, I've been
last night? Or
you were gone for several weeks, of course, and he's been letting me see glimpses, and also I have been scrying as I do, since he has confined me to this island for my long life, but given me the ability to see far. I've seen it in almost as in visions and dreams. It's not clear what it is, and I can't understand it. When I look at it, I cannot see the features, only the darkness itself. It's as though it's not a wall, but a water or a vapor or something impenetrable to my gaze. But Oberon has been letting me see it, and it's growing and growing and growing, and it has now grown to the north and the east and the south and the west. And any time it's imminently going to touch the cliffs, and I fear consume the cliffs and grow into the forest. It's too big for the elves.
You think that it'll climb the thousands of feet?
It's not an
That
entity.
it'll survive the blasting winds? And
I cannot tell. No one can tell, except in my scrying and listening at the outposts on the edge of the Elven Empire, I have found that the Empire is suppressing knowledge of this darkness. They don't want to rile the people. Too much prosperity in the capital, too much activity and economics in the cities. They don't want to concern the people, and they think it must be nothing because what could fell us? However, in the southern outposts, though they suppress the truth, there are a few who see that this thing might not be good. One in particular who watches with a telescope, and I believe if we can get this lens to him, he will fight for the Elven Empire, even against the elves.
so you've found one with a pure heart in a sea of traitors and cowards.
I don't know about traitors, but I do know about cowards. It seems so to me. They are true to their power, and they are true to the desires of the people, but not their interests. And they are certainly not true to Oberon. But this one, I think he wants what's true and good, the beautiful.
Mal, like a light clicks for him, and he says, this actually makes a lot of sense. For years and years, we've been hearing about how much the Elven Empire has been making contributions to the Rangers network, to the guilds that operate it, giving them seemingly generous money to increase their Ranger numbers. I wonder if they've been padding the Ranger network just to keep the southern border that much more patrolled. Otherwise, word would surely get through and get out.
Maybe. I mean, you know how the Ministry of Science works. They have a tight control. That said, there is no one I can trust to take this but you.
All right, let's not flatter me too much.
Listen, you're going to have to go back into the Empire, into the woods, and that same network of Rangers that you spoke of, those are the ones that hunt you.
You want me to go back to the mainland, into the heart of the Elven Empire?
You've got to go through it and get to the Station 4 on the southern cliffs.
Well, how close to Station 4 can you get me?
If you were to take a ship across the cloudy sea and go in, wait here. I'm going to send help with you. Let me get my attendants. One of them is going to go with you. And so Watherin puts on, he has his ring on and he touches it idly. And in front of Malmar, he's seen it many times, Watherin becomes this Birdman Yellow Eyes. And
Mal probably turns into whatever mercenary of the decade that he appears to be, some human-looking servant of Yellow Eyes who is able to come and go.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yep.
So Yellow Eyes calls out, Sarakren, Boriak. Two other Aarakocra come into his chambers. They're his personal attendants. They help him with everything, and they are his trusted right hands. But they also know that you have a different relationship than they do. Saracren comes in. He is himself a capable ranger. And Boriak, a devout acolyte, a paladin of Oberon, who has served Yellow Eyes his entire adult life. The two of them come in.
Oberon, Boriak strides in and does He does this small bow and says, "Yes, my priest."
I've got a mission. It's urgent. We've got to send this man on a desperate mission. It must happen, and I need your help. Saracren, Boriak, I need one of you to travel with him and the other to stay with me. It is urgent that he get... And Yellow Eyes pulls out a small reliquary that has the lens in it, but it is closed and sealed. They don't know what's in it. And he says, the contents of this box needs to go to the far side of the Elven Empire. This man will go with you. I'm entrusting it with this man to take. One of you will go with him, certainly. And you must at all costs get this to its destination. He knows the mission. However, for reasons that I cannot go into now, sadly, the elves, some of the elves, those same who have from time to time made attempts on my own life, they do not want this mission to succeed. They do not want this box that will rescue their empire from peril to arrive. You must make sure it arrives. You must. And so, will one of you volunteer to accompany this man on his journey?
Boriak is gonna stand up immediately and say, my priest, I would be honored to guide this man on his mission. Oberon will guide my sword to help him through the vile lands of your assassins, lest they fall. And he kind of reflects in a smile on the irony of that statement, lest they fall into the pit of despair.
So, Saracren also stands up and immediately, as fast as he can, and volunteers. I'll take him, sir. I'll take him. So both of them have volunteered. Yellow Eyes turns to Malmer and says, it looks like they're both willing. Which will it be? Both of them have served me well and loyally.
Well, we are fighting true evil, and I would take a man of God with me for this mission. Boriak, you come with me.
Boriak smiles and offers a small, thankful prayer to Oberon and says, I shall not let a single blade touch your hide. And he pulls out his longsword and salutes.
Good.
Mal claps him on the shoulder and says, it's a nice sentiment, but just promise me to close up the holes when I get them punctured in me, okay?
So, Yellow Eyes takes the opportunity and, with the four of you there, explains, if you were to travel directly, if you were to go across the cloudy sea to the elven ports and then come into the port, they would know immediately. They would find you. You would be stopped instantly in your journey. However, there is, of course, the network of teleportation circles that the elves have used. They are monitored, of course. You cannot use them either. But many hundreds of years ago, we came to a temple in the Cloudy Sea that had one of the elves' teleportation circles. It has been disused. It was a communication between the giants and the elves. It has been disused and fallen into ruin for these past few centuries. The black dragons do not know what it is, only that it is magical and valuable. They squat on it, use it for nothing. If you are to get there, you may take these symbols, and Yellow Eyes takes a folded piece of paper, gives them to Malmer. It says, use these symbols. It will take you where you want to go. It will take you, unfortunately, not to Outpost 4, but it will take you maybe a few weeks' travel from there. You'll be able to go through the wilds, through the forests in the south, and arrive there. Oberon willing, without being seen, though I would not bet on it. Are you ready to go, Malmer? Boriak?
Well, I'll need perhaps at least a few hours to gather all the supplies for the journey. And
Boriak agrees, saying, I too must pack my belongings to go on this journey.
I've taken care of all of this already. There is an elf who I trust. He is down by the docks already with a boat that will take you with him. You will travel through the Cloudy Sea. With his help and another that you will pick up on the way, you will be able to make it. The four of you must go and deliver this special artifact.
Mal turns to Boriak and says, you know, a plan with this one always unfolds like taking apart one of those little high elf child's paper toy things that comes apart into it. Yeah. All right. So just me, Boriak, and two more that we'll meet along the way.
Down at the docks, he is an elf named Darrow. He will have the boat for you, and another named Edorano. He is an old friend. I have known him. Edorano is very well versed. He's a wild man from the southern parts of the Empire. He's very well versed in the southern forests. He has been to the cliffs himself, though, even though it is illegal. Darrow knows the Cloudy Sea well, and he will accompany you on the entire journey. A good fighter, both of them.
Excellent. All right, holy man. Shall we take this battle on the road?
I will be watching from here. Oberon be with you.
Oberon, we be with you too, my priest.
Good.
And also you, friend.
So,
I think
that's right. Go ahead.
He goes, Mal goes to like hug him, and then you see it in but it's just a small movement, and then he lifts his hand to go shake, and he kind of bows and takes the plate of the rest of the food and heads out.
Good. Let me do a quick technical thing here. Josh, will you join, or maybe I have to or something, Malmer to the campaigns for the encounter?
Oh, sure.
Sounds good. While you do that,
right now, Mal belongs to the King of the Cloudy Sea.
That's the wrong campaign.
That's right.
Should be.
Okay.
Oh, you know, I might be able to do that for you because I'm here.
Interludes.
Oh, you can do it. Yeah, okay. So while you're doing that, I am going to, Josh, while you're doing that, I'm going to do a quick narrative transition here.
Okay.
So as Malmer and Boriak leave to go to the docks and meet Darrow and Edorano, he chats briefly with Sarakren. Sarakren has been his assistant for a good 10 years. Not very long in terms of elven span, but, long enough to know him well. And he's been a good servant with him. Unlike Boriak, who has served for his entire life, quite a few years now, Sarakren is new but has been quite helpful. Especially quite helpful in helping Yellow Eyes interact with the elves and their emissaries that occasionally come. The relations between the Aarakocra and the elves is a little bit strained, but not bad. And Sarakren is a statesman, as it were. He's a sort of not quite politician who, though an Aarakocra, has good relationships with the elves. Yellow Eyes, as they chat, turns around and straightens up his desk, and to his surprise, in a moment, finds Sarakren's dagger slitting his throat. Yellow Eyes collapses to the ground, bleeding all over his feathers. Sarakren spits on Yellow Eyes, gives him a good solid kick, and says to him, "Taken you 10 years too long to get this. Now it will be ours. Now my masters among the elves will finally welcome me in. I will retrieve it from this Malmer's cold hands." Gives him another kick and walks out the room as Yellow Eyes seems to bleed out completely. We switch back to Malmer. Did you manage to join the group?
So I removed Mal from the other campaign,
Okay.
and now I'm not quite sure how to add him to
Let me see if I
other
can...
campaign. I'm on this interlude page, and I've got this copy link. These are active characters.
And what's...
There's a way to edit unassigned.
I think I just did it.
Oh, okay.
I went to that active link, and it had a list of characters, and I fiddled around, and I think it said join with this character. Let's see here.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I've got you in.
Cool. Very
Thank
good.
you.
I'm in.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Yep. So Darrow and Ederano, you two are Jared and Dwight. You two know the mission generally. You don't know the details of what's being conveyed, but you know it's life and death, and Yellow Eyes has asked you to. You two are waiting at the docks with a boat that has been loaded with, some rations and what you'll need to get to the Giant's teleportation circle in the Cloudy Sea. It is in dragon territory, Black Dragon territory. The Black Dragons know of Malmer. He has just managed to infiltrate and steal their stuff. And they're not pleased about it. So y'all are going to try to help him get through. You're going to go through the portal with him and try to help him on his quest. Does that sound good? Jacob,
Sure.
Can you hear? He went to go check if his computer, he had restarted it to go see if it was working.
I was going to say, if you ask Jacob, "Are you here?" and he's 2 feet away and he doesn't say anything, then I suppose options include basilisk stairs, carbonite. Audio is still glitchy.
Yep. What can you do? We'll work on it for next time, good boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You're all set?
That was the name of the town in Japan that I lived in.
What's
I
that?
lived in Big Boy City, Daigo Machi. It literally means big boy
Oh.
or big baby city.
That's great in
Yeah.
Japanese. Okay, so Darrow and Ederano, Dwight, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, we're gonna pick up with Malmer meeting you guys at the docks, and why don't you, Malmer, walk up to them, and it's obvious who they are and what's going on.
Sure. Yeah. So you see a Eladrin looking fellow who looks to be in his human equivalent of 60s, but kind of Robert Redford level handsome, like he's an extremely rugged, handsome kind of guy. And he's got black armor with a kind of a black cloak and a huge black mahogany haft that is a little bit taller than him, with a long blade about 2 feet long that looks like it's got a wicked hook coming off the back of it, and some black tasseling and a sailor's hat. And he's walking up, I suppose, with a paladin of Oberon and a Eterano at his side as well. Or is Eterano, are we going to run into him later? Oh, at the docks. Okay, yeah. So, Mal is looking for a wood elf druid and a wood elf ranger, I believe, right? All right. So do I need to make any kind of like perception check or anything to spot them? Okay. Yeah. You there? Are you friend of Yellow Eyes? Sorry, you there? You a friend of Yellow Eyes?
Adorana looks to Darrow.
Yeah, we're gonna do this, or we're gonna talk about it.
Preferably the latter. All right. And Mal throws his stuff onto the boat.
For the former.
Yeah, he throws his stuff onto the boat and takes a running leap and just kind of. Does the boat have like a main sail, like a main mast or anything, or is it just more like a dinghy? Okay, yeah. So he throws his stuff in and just takes kind of a running leap and jumps into the boat and steps out towards the helm and the front of the boat, and pulls out a compass and a map, and he just starts kind of it pulls open a little notebook and starts kind of making some notes and starts taking some readings and whatnot, and turns and looks over his shoulder and says, "You said you wanted to get underway, right?"
Adorana's looking at the map with him.
Okay.
As you look over your shoulder, you notice that Darrow is not on the dock anymore. He's already on the boat.
All right. We know we're leaving under the authority of Yellow Eyes, so leave or die. And Mal, and yeah, 14. Yep. 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 Yep.
I got a 19.
$14.
Hey, Jared, what's your dexterity score?
20.
Nice. All right, you're going before me.
No. Yeah.
What's the weather like? Okay. Also, and how are the enemies? I guess one of them's really close to Jared's character. Are they all? Nice. I would like to put a 20-foot cylinder of ice storm right over all of those guys. Yeah, they need to make a dexterity 16 saving throw. Yes. Okay, so they, if they fail, they take half of the damage. If they do not, yeah, if they fail, they take the whole, and then also the ground is difficult terrain until the end of my next turn. So the damage they take, the full amount is 8 bludgeoning damage, and let me see, 46 cold. 1, 2, 3, 4. 15 cold damage. So I guess 12 or 23. Yeah. How do they look after that? I may want to do something else. Gotcha. That's what I like to hear. Oh, gotcha. Oh, real quick, I want to do something. I'd like to use my no, not that action surge, so I can take an additional action on my turn
Nice.
and hit him with my thorn whip. So the guy that's still standing, the main guy. Ah, crud. Does a 14 hit?
But I do like the Norman H.
I-
Schwarzkopf shock and awe initial overwhelming force opening. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I whip out with my thorn whip and just miss him, I guess, or maybe miss terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scared the pants
And you
off
can
of me.
tell that crack has little thorns on it.
I take out my two short swords and attack him. Yeah, I'm gonna. He's the big guy, right? I'm gonna hunter's mark him, and then attack him. Just a sec. Okay. So, a natural 20. A natural 20 and an unnatural 20.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like it's just automatically factoring that in. Okay, so that's 10 for the natural 20 and 9 for the other one.
Yeah, Mal would like to pick the leader of the group. Does he was that at all clear? Like which one of them talked to him and told him you stop?
I think the one that attacked Jared.
Okay, yeah. How close is that guy to yeah. Okay. Cool. I suppose he's just gonna point his hand at him and unleash an Eldritch Blast at him. So that's going to be a 1 for the first one. So that's only an 11. A 29 for the second one. And an 18 for the third one. So I guess, am I going to hit him twice? Do I hit him with the 18? Okay. So that's 10 and 15. So 25 points of damage as you see these two kind of massive kraken looking tentacles come blasting out, and they just kind of slap into him and explode in this dark purplish glowing, not necessarily evil, but definitely an angry, violent energy. Hmm. And I've got a bonus action where so I'm on the boat, and there are how many guys on the dock? Right. Okay. I think he's gonna misty step to right next to the guy and uh hold his spear at him and say, "Surrender or die. You are outnumbered and have no prayer of apprehending us."
Hey, sorry, I forgot to add the hunter's mark damage to my attacks. 2d6.
May already be dead.
Mal says to a corpse.
3 and 4.
Yeah. You've already lost this one. He says, like, with kind of like pity and scorn, you've already lost this one. And I don't think I have any bonus action. Oh, I just used my bonus action. So I think Mal is kind of just standing there with his spear kind of generally out. But you see, he, like, to a seasoned fighter, you would go, why did he just put himself inside of this guy's attack range? That doesn't make any sense. But he is. I think Mal turns to say, well, actually, but as he's saying, he just sees whoosh, these blades coming down. Nice.
Mm.
Hmm. It's all good. Hmm. It hits, but he chose poorly because a enormous eruption of tentacles comes spilling out of Mao. The Sure. Oh no no no! This isn't the tentacles. This is just this is hellish rebuke. Uh, this guy hits me, and you see a where he slashes just a split second later. Does he stab me or slash at me? Sure. So, yeah. So, in the place where the talon kind of rips into my flesh, you see this kind of slight delayed reaction where light rapidly comes flying out, and then from that place of the wound, flames come erupting out, and he needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 18, or he will take. Okay. So he's going to take 6 points of damage from the hellish rebuke. Can I just say how nice it is to take 5 points of damage and not lose half of my hit points? It feels good. It feels real good. Keep going. Sorry. That's Jade. That's the magic. Oh, that's okay. He would have still taken half damage.
I'm sorry, I was still trying to learn my character. You want to know my...
AC.
No.
It does not. Insufficient. That hits. That does hit. That meets my armor class. But I like the idea. That was pretty cool. Mal, as he's getting hit, Mal turns and gives like a nice, thanks. It was a nice thought. It's just nice to fight with somebody who, applies their craft. Woo! Okay. I feel exfoliated.
Darrow will again try his Thorn Whip. Oh my goodness. Critical miss. I got a 10. Darrow looks at his hands and just... No. Darrow looks at his hands and just shakes his head.
Wait, so it's been a while. I have 2 weapons and extra attack. What does that do?
I believe 2-weapon just means that you can hold 2 weapons. The extra attack
Well,
means that you can...
So,
Oh, wait, no. 2-weapon does mean you can use the second one, but you don't get any bonuses. That's what it is.
yeah.
I just have so many skills that I'm trying to keep track of them.
Right.
So you can use your 2-weapon means you can use your bonus action to attack with the
I'm
other
hoping you don't
weapon.
I'm hoping you don't mind this. I'm changing my character a little just to simplify him. He's a Beastmaster, but I kind of don't want to keep track of a beast. Cool. Thanks.
I mean, you just don't have to use it.
So I have two different things. 2-weapon fighting at second level.
So you can use your bonus action to take
You can
an
add your,
additional attack.
and then I
But
also
that,
have extra attack.
yeah, so usually you get to make 2 attacks. You can make 3 if you want, but that third attack doesn't get any bonuses.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to know it, so it's like, well, does he get how many? He's gonna attack as much as he can. I just don't know. Okay. Okay. So the big guy's still up, so I'll just keep going at him. He's my marked prey. So 2 short sword attacks. Okay. 28 and
Just
15.
barely.
Okay. Oh, yeah. 25. Okay, so yeah. 8 and 9 plus my, where is that thing? Hunter's mark damage. Here we go. 6 and 4. Yeah.
Tis merely
Did
a
it
flesh
shatter?
wound.
That's intense.
Mal's going to give him another flesh wound. Will an 18 hit? Okay, in that case, you see his spear. Can I do non-lethal damage to the guy? Okay, yeah. So Mal non-lethally severs his arm, his other arm, or he at least stabs into the guy's hand and expends a superiority die to disarm him, so that the guy will no longer have a weapon. So he needs to make a DC 17 strength saving throw. Or oh, I did. I'm using my Fate Glaive, which it's 5 plus 13 is an 18. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So he'll take 14 plus 7 is 23. Wait, 6, 21. So he'll take 21 damage from the glaive. Yeah, if that's possible, sure. I guess he'll use the butt. He'll use the butt of the weapon, and he'll flip it around and just bring it down, whack on it. Cool, cool.
Mhm. 2 arms in his weapon.
I think Mal turns, lifts his head, and looks up at the guy who's still up, and just says, "Run." Is he still in view? In that case, I think Mal is going to dive after him. Yeah, so basically Mal can hit things from 300 feet away. So if you want to narratively tie this up, unless he can hide, he's dead. Eldritch Blast. He's just spamming Eldritch Blast down at him. Nice ochre color. Being unconscious and okay, yeah. So I think Mal gets back up and says, "Well, as much as I love tying up loose ends, probably good to literally tie him up and bring him with us and see what kind of information we can get out of him on the way. That way we have some idea about what's coming for us." And then he turns to the paladin and says, "Keep in mind, this is only a slightly delayed justice. I do plan on fully dispatching him when I get done questioning him. It's really just a matter of timing. Is your conscience going to be okay with that?" Hmm. Who we pull out some rope and tie up, by the way. By the way, Sir Robert, thank you for recommending the song Vincent by Don McLean. It was one of the more hauntingly beautiful songs I've ever heard.
That's pretty good.
Not an easy
I'd
listen.
heard it before, but I had not paid very much attention to the lyrics.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. He's a very gifted storyteller. Or uniquely effective.
Yeah.
I always love hearing stories about Rodney Dangerfield from other comedians. Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is
Well
American
known.
Pie.
Oh gosh.
Wow. And which album is that again? Which album is that? American Pie, the album. Okay. All right. Yeah, apparently Rodney Dangerfield would like go to a no-name club across the street from the place where he was going to play days in advance and like 3 nights in a row work his material. And so he was someone who put a great deal of earnest work into his craft, and that's why he's great. So, which I love. I think they've got a bag over his head as well, and Mal turns to look at his fellow members of the crew and kind of winks at them, and you see him. And as he opens his eyes, you see that they flame with a hellish fire, and his mouth is just a shark's mouth full. Well, not a werewolf's mouth full of incredibly sharp teeth, and you see his face distend into this hideous, horrifying, monstrous appearance. And yeah, Malmer. And he peels the bag off of this guy's head and uses prestidigitation to affect his voice so that it sounds otherworldly and deep and loud, and says, "Who sent you?" I'd like to make an intimidation check, please. Okay. Nuts. So close to being an 11. Just a 9. Ooh. Okay. Again, it's nice to be working with someone who knows their craft. I think Mal laughs with a resonant, evil laugh and says, "If you wish to experience pain unspeakable, then by all means, keep your mouth shut. But if you wish to experience even a shred of peace in the seconds you have left in this world, you will tell us who sent you and everything they told you about why." Come on, man. All right. All right. 19. Mal says, "Too far back, more recent." Sadly, and his face comes back to normal. Such knowledge will do you no good. I'll give you one last chance to spare your own life from a miserable, painful end. Who sent you? I think Mal grabs him by the front and just lifts him up above him and says, "What?" And as he lifts him up in the air, he's probably perfectly in place to be decapitated.
Make sure you don't lose a finger.
Son of a gun.
Oh no. Longsword flies off into the.
No, I would imagine. Well, whatever. Let the DM. Fail down.
No.
Mal has already. Mal just kind of shakes his head with like, "Oh, it's nothing," and just kind of squelches this guy's remains off of him as he just kind of tosses him off the side of the ship, still bound, now disemboweled, and he gets out a little pouch of materials, and you see him take out a piece of black chalk, and you see him start scrawling runes in a circle. And you see him sit down, and he kind of takes this, some sort of arcane meditation pose, and he begins muttering to himself, "Come on, you're craftier than this. You're all right. I know he's still alive." And you see him kind of muttering to himself, kind of reassuring himself that Yellow Eyes is not in fact dead, because he knows that he just left Yellow Eyes with this snake. So he is casting scrying. That'll take 10 minutes. They've been traveling for a while, and it takes 10 minutes to cast.
Just rowing.
And just one last thing, he has this spherical, polished yellow gemstone that seems to have some sort of circular shape in the center of it, but it kind of changes based on the angle that you look at it, and it's kind of floating in front of Mal, and he's staring into it. He has a focus for it. I forgot to mention.
So I rolled a 12, but my passive is 18. I don't know if you're doing the passive as floor. Passive perception is 18.
I recommend making a U-turn. Oh, thanks. Woo! I did, yeah. Hmm. Hey.
Well, not doing as well this time. 11. No, 8.
21.
Nice. 19.
I'm gonna shoot at the strongest looking one with my. I don't know what Aarakocra are. Okay, and their whole and the elves are in a flying ship.
Skimmer.
Oh, we're in the water.
We're
It's not water though. It's like a mist.
yeah, it's a
And
sea.
below is
Yeah.
space.
It's a sea of interconnected branches with enormous, many foot long and large leaves. And the boats that go on the cloudy sea are made of this wood that floats if you know how to harvest it and shape it right. So the boats just kind of skim over the top of the leaves.
Okay.
But effectively, it's like being in the sea. If you get out into the cloudy sea and for some reason you fall, you've got two chances to catch a branch. And if you miss the second time, you're fallen. Or maybe
Just
it's
just
three.
just to fill in some context that you guys probably have from knowing season 2, which one? Who should I aim at? The elves or the birds?
Well, if you're an archer, I mean, it's your choice, man. You play your character.
Okay, I just don't know like if one race tends to be more like shooting from far away. Do I see any weapons in their hands? They're far away, right? Okay, I'll shoot them then. Okay, so I will do 2 shots at one Aarakocra with my longbow. $17 and 10. Okay, let's see. 12 damage. Oh, I should have hunters marked him first. I'll hunters I'll hunters mark him, I guess, at the end then. Yeah. Okay. The dice froze on the core. Oh, there it is.
You gotta
Nice.
just shake your computer.
1.
The smallest amount of extra damage possible.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yes. So Mal takes his spear and he slams the butt of it into the floor of the ship. And as he slams it, you see a spike of a cyclone that is, centered around the butt of his spear, erupts up into the air, and it envelops him as well. And you see him go launching off the floor of the boat, 60 feet straight up. So yeah, 60 feet straight up into the air as he casts Investiture of Wind. And he is now, for the next 10 minutes, has a flight speed of 60, and all ranged attacks against him have disadvantage. Yeah, I mean, it's not dependent upon, it doesn't say anything about it being dependent upon his form, but interesting. Yeah. I guess he'd be a flying werewolf, I guess.
Yeah, it's making magic wind that is lifting him, not
Yeah, the wind
giving
is
him
what's holding
wings.
him up. Yeah. Yeah, that takes up an action, and then as a bonus action, He's got interesting.
How you doing on health points, hit points?
Not fantastic, but not terrible. I'm at 101 out of 130. I was able to regain some of my hit points with a bonus action, second wind, but yeah, only a little bit, not much. Yeah,
You're doing
so
fine.
I guess he's gonna place the Hexblade's curse on. Does one of them have different armor than the others? Or you know what? He's going to do one of the two Aarakocra. I guess. Do they look different at all? The one that just shot already. He's going to hex that one. Okay. So I'm going to write a hex next to him. So that means that against the cursed target, I get a +5 bonus to damage rolls. And I score a critical on a 19 or 20, and I'll regain hit points if it dies. Yep. Okay.
Oh, his crossbow explodes in his hands. Ooh. Ouch.
Nice.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
And just got first time in his life. Yes. Darn. Uh-oh. With an arrow, he aims at Darrow.
You know, based on his species, it could be a Darrow arrow from the Flying Sparrow, but I'm just pointing that out. I don't know.
No, he's not an Aarakocra.
Oh, okay. All right.
It hits me right in the ouchie spot.
So that's a narrow arrow hit for Darrow. Okay.
Ouchie and ouchie.
Does it fall off? Does it fall off, Dwight?
Yep. No more ouchie spots left. It died. My armor class is now 20. Uh-huh. Good. I want to call him Mr. Boreac. I want to call him Mr. Boreac. It just sounds good. What But what does it mean for a boat to be knocked prone?
Clever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all the way through.
Come on. Fail, 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 fail.
Fail.
Dang it.
Oh, he, so what does that mean? Ah,
Yep.
gotcha.
A treacherous life, but a peaceful one. Right.
Like a kraken or a black dragon.
Can I just take a moment?
So,
Oh, never mind. Keep going. Keep going.
I just see two Aarakocra flying around out there, and yeah, how far away are they?
Well, they were
100
100. If
ish.
they were 100, if they're moving towards us, wouldn't they be more like 60 now? Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm, well, I guess I will. Not do much. They're way out there. My range, my ranged weapon is only 60. Um, I will dodge. Uh, actually, I think I'll do my what's it called? Second wind, regain 1d10 plus 4 hit points.
So,
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the only one I can reach him with, and I only have one more slot there, so
and just a
I don't
note,
want to use that
Dwight,
on one guy.
I'm sure your character, a battle-hardened veteran, would know if you just get low and make yourself prone, they'll have disadvantage to hit you. So you won't just get a +2. And you can do that too. Like you can take the dodge action and get your bonus, and you can use your move action to just part of your move action, just lay down and get low, and they'll have disadvantage to hit you.
Okay, so I'll do the second wind. Oh, that's a bonus action, so I would still, but I only get 5 hit points. Well, that's fine. I only lost 10. Okay, so I did that. That was my bonus action. Then I'll dodge and I'll drop down, kind of take cover, use my motion to hide behind something. Yeah.
Doesn't Eterano go? Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Uh, was that with disadvantage? Misses. I was just hoping he'd miss even worse. But the arrow goes. You see the arrow at the last minute just kind of glance off of the, uh, power. I mean, this wind is powerful enough to lift him up in the air, so it effectively knocks the bolt off course.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the same guy that I got, and I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna use up my I'll just shoot him twice actually. 24 and 22. Okay. That's right. So 6 and 9, and then Hunter's Mark. Where is that? 5 and 6. That was pretty good. Wait, so actually, Hunter's Mark, the range is less than my bow. Okay, the Hunter's Mark only goes 90 feet. Okay. Oh,
Is that the one that I hexed and cursed? Okay. So Mal, immediately you see a rush of kind of life force that siphons away from the guy in a cloud, and it comes rushing over to Mal, and you see it come in through his nose and mouth as he absorbs 16 points of the life force of this Aarakocra that has just died.
oh,
Indeed. So Mal uses his bonus action to transfer the curse to the other Aarakocra, and he slams into the guy with 3 Eldritch Blast tentacles for 23, 28, and 12. I take it 2 of those will hit. Okay, in that case, he does 26 damage total to the guy as these tentacles just ravage into him and slam him from either side. 26. No, I'll take it. I'll take it. Bank
Hey,
error in
you
your
said it.
favor. What? Nice. And with that, you see another siphon of energy come over to Mal, and you see every single wound on his body completely heal. No, he's not dead yet? I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Wait, I thought the other one. I thought the other one was dead. I thought there were only two Aarakocra, and we killed one, and that was the second one that just fell.
No, there was one that got shot.
Okay.
One shot the other, but he didn't kill him.
But one of them I hit and I killed. Okay, sorry. I must be confused. I apologize. Keep going. Okay. Sure. But that one down there did just die. Okay. So are there any other visible enemies at this point? Okay. All right. Mal points his spear at him and goes and tries to mock and shame him. He's an albatross, not a chicken. That was profoundly racist, Mal. Cool. Sounds like a terrible choice on his part. I love it. Tete-a-tete, tete-a-tete, core-a-core.
Wing to cuffs.
Oh yeah. Looks like we are going to be having fried chicken tonight, boys. Hmm. Mal just kind of starts clapping and flies over to him. He's kind of, hovering on his own little, fountain cyclone of air and says, "Really, it's an honor to work with someone who plies their craft with such skill. Sir, it's like watching a master painter produce a masterpiece on a canvas. It's an honor." And he that was
Pretty good.
beautiful. It was exquisite. Exquisite. Nice.
Aha, that's what he gets for shooting me.
Nice. Is there one last piece of narrative that we can do before the scene closes, just to tie this up? I think, yeah, Mal would fly down to the boat, and you just see tentacles come flying out of his back, and they just start slamming and ravaging into the hull of the boat until a hole is ripped open, and he hops in and scours the boat for any information that might be relevant. Okay. It's been thrown off. Okay. Sure.
Huzzah.
Good night.